today's youth will look at Mike and think, who's that old guy fighting? And they'll not appreciate how devastating this man was in his day.
This is Jonathan Agatha for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Johnny Nelson. It was announced this week that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul is a professionally sanctioned fight. 2-minute rounds, I believe 8 rounds. Yeah, what's your reaction? Because knockouts are allowed. Surprised or not?
I am surprised. I'd say the devil's in the detail when I was told about this fight. Let's just not be silly. We know Mike Tyson, who he was, what he had achieved, what he did. We know what Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, it's like day and night. We also know Mike Tyson's the same age as me right now. And if you get in with somebody that's not got half, even a quarter, even 1% of the experience and knowledge you have about the game, we know Mike Tyson's got all of that and more. But the one thing we as humans can't control is time. Youth. You've got youth against an older man that hasn't got the pace. So if you've got someone that's running rings around you, Mike's never going to have the energy level to keep up with him or to manhandle him. So unless he gets one shot in, and Jake Paul's stupid enough to try and toe-to-toe it there with him, all it takes is one shot. But he has the speed on Mike, he has the youth on Mike, he has the fitness on Mike. Mike will work great in probably 10, 20 second bursts, and maybe for each round, which might suit him. I'm frustrated because today's youth will look at Mike and think, who's that old guy fighting? And they'll not appreciate how devastating this man was in his day. Jake Paul's buying scalps. Would he have ever done that to Anderson Silva in his day? No. You know, he's buying scalps. And he's a businessman. He's monetizing the situation he's in. I get it. I don't like it, but Mike, it's okay for us because Mike, because Mike don't do it, but he might be getting paid ridiculous. So if it's about the money, totally get it. I hear you, man. I hear you. If it's about the money, but if it's not about the money or it's less about the money than something else, you're mad doing it. If it's about the money, I get where you're at. But you've got to live with yourself afterwards. You've got to remember, people are going to remember that. And I'm not saying they're going to scrub off everything you've achieved, because I always look at that. But I think it might be more of a money grab for Mike. He'll do the best he possibly can. I think him being convinced about how much money he can make has probably made this more attractive for him. Don't like it, but that's how it is.
So given like the factors you mentioned, he's got youth, he's got speed on his side, general freshness, are you worried for Mike, or do you think he's going to be all right in there?
Common sense is this: in the last part of Mike's career as an active professional, we saw the decline. He didn't have the pace, he didn't have the snap, he didn't have what it took. His style suits a young man, not a man in his 30s. It still suits a young man in his 20s that's got the snap. That's what he saw at his peak. In his professional career, that's what he did for a living. You saw the decline. So why on earth is anybody going to think it's going to be any better than it was at the back end of his career? He's had time off. He's had that rest. And it's just. It's frustrating because Jake Paul has put himself in a position where he's thinking, this guy's took the bait. The money, I can buy anything I want with money. Right now I'm buying this scalp. He's buying the scalp.